Today we're making challah. It is a traditional Jewish bread normally served at celebrations. Enriched with fat and eggs, it can be eaten with sweet or savory toppings. And if you got any left over, it makes the best French toast. I will add a link at the end of this video where you can check it out how to make it. But for now, let's continue on with the challah. So here's the equipment that you will need. A baking sheet with parchment paper, scales for weighing all your ingredients, a bowl for mixing, a trusty little dough scraper, and a brush for brushing on the egg mix at the end, and obviously a temperature probe. We always need to take our temperature of the bread. So to the ingredients, you'll need strong white bread flour, water, you'll need 1 egg yolk and 2 whole eggs for a combined weight of 125 grams, some sugar, vegetable oil, some yeast, salt. You'll also need an extra egg for brushing, and seeds of your choice. I used some poppy seeds and sesame seeds here. Now I know my kitchen's around 20 degrees Celsius, so for this recipe I want my water to be around 23 to 24 degrees. By the time I finish working the dough, it should give me around 26 degrees Celsius temperature. So start by adding your water to your bowl, add the yeast, give it a good mix, let it hydrate a little bit, then in with the sugar, salt, and the eggs, but you want to give them a quick whisk before you add them. It will be easier to work the dough later on. And then add your oil as well at this point. And last but not least, the flour. So as you can see, so far it's quite straightforward, quite easy to make. Once you've added all your flour, start mixing it all in. You can use the dough scraper for this. I used my hand. Sometimes I use the scraper, sometimes I don't. It doesn't really matter. All you want to do at this point is mix until you don't have any dry flour left. Then you can place your dough on your work surface and start kneading it. This is quite a dry dough, so it'll be quite easy to work. Using a standard kneading method, what I like to do is press down and forwards with the heel of my right hand, then using the fingers of my left hand, I fold the piece of dough underneath the heel of my right hand and continue this movement. Once you get the hang of it, it will become like second nature. So just keep working it, and it should not take more than 5 minutes. As you go along, you will notice the dough becoming a lot less sticky and a lot smoother. It should also be nice and stretchy without tearing and a little bit elastic. So now we're almost ready for our first proof. Organize your dough in a little ball by folding the edges over the center, going around in a circle until you reach the point where you started. And always flip it back upside down, you want the smooth side up. Now get your bowl, place your dough in, and make sure to take the temperature. This will give us a good indication of what to do. If it's too high, you want to place your dough in a cooler corner of your kitchen. If it's too low, vice versa. 26 degrees is what I was aiming for, so that's about perfect. So now we can cover our dough and leave it to proof for 1 hour. After the first hour, we will degas the dough. By doing this, we will get rid of the excess fermentation gases. The reason for that is that we are proofing the dough for 2 hours, and proofing it without degassing halfway through runs the risk of over fermenting the dough lightly and in turn kind of destroy the gluten structure. All you need to do is press into the dough using the palm of your hand or your fist, but don't punch it. I know people call it punching it down, but you shouldn't punch your dough. There's no need to be violent here. So after you've degassed it, cover it up again and leave it to proof for 1 more hour. And as you can see, the dough is puffed up real nice. And now it's time to divide and pre-shape. Challah can be made in many different shapes, but normally it's braided. I haven't had the time or patience to practice braiding yet, so I'll just do a simple 3-strand braid, which most people know how to do anyway. To divide your dough, you can use scales, but if you want, you can just eyeball it. But we are using scales anyway for weighing all the ingredients, so you might as well put them to good use. That way you'll get more of a consistent result. So to pre-shape, place your dough smooth side down, fold in the edges, and then fold over the top and the bottom, or roll it up into a little sausage. Don't worry if you've messed this up, this is just a pre-shaping, it's not really that crucial. As long as you get them into a nice little cylinder shape, and place them seam side down, you should be okay. And you got 3 bits to practice on, so that's good. So because we are kind of rolling these up a little bit tight, I mean you don't have to, but I have this time, we need to let the dough relax for the final shaping. So just leave your little dough cylinders on the table, cover them in cling film and let them rest for 20 minutes. This will relax the gluten and help you shape it. And while they're relaxing, they're still fermenting, so you can see them puffing up as well. So now we need to roll out our dough pieces. You want them to be about the length of, from your fingertips to your elbow, kind of that long. Using even pressure, starting from the middle, use both of your hands, and as you roll, spread them out and repeat as many times as needed. This is quite similar to rolling out a baguette actually. Once you've rolled it out to the desired length, you want to make the ends pointy by pressing down on them and rolling them against the table. That's not totally necessary, but this will make it easier come braiding time. And as always, remember, seam side down when your dough is resting. Now all you have to do is repeat with the other two pieces. And once again, because you have 3 pieces, this is a good opportunity to practice. It doesn't matter if you mess it up a little bit. I will make a video on how to make baguettes in the future, so these skills will come in handy. And once you've finished rolling out all of them, you can go ahead and re-roll them a little bit, just to make them the same length. And now we're ready for braiding. You want to align your dough pieces and then press them together at one end, and then just do a normal 3-strand braid. I mean, pretty sure everyone knows how to do this. And if you don't, just follow my hands until you get it. You don't want to braid it too tight though, because it will still puff up during the last fermentation. Once you've reached the bottom, press the strands together and then fold the end bits underneath to make a nice neat loaf. Quite simple, right? I mean, this is the second time I've done this and it's pretty easy. So we can get our tray with our parchment paper, place the loaf on it and ready for its last fermentation. Then cover it with cling film. You don't need to sprinkle any flour or anything like that, it should not stick. And at this point, you can preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, no fan, or 160 with the fan on. Now you can see it really puffing up. So literally doubled in size. That's all we want. So before baking, we want to brush this with egg. It will give it a beautiful shiny brown crust. And also it will have a nice leathery texture, typical of a challah. And what I like to do, for a bit of an extra effect, I like to brush the bread and then leave it to sit for 5 minutes to dry out a little bit and then brush it again. And once you're finished with that, give it a good sprinkling of seeds. That is optional, but it gives it a nice flavor and a bit of a visual impact as well. So the only thing left to do is to bake it. For a fully proofed loaf of this size, it takes about 45 to 50 minutes. It was already quite big after the proofing, but it should puff up even more whilst baking. And that is it, our challah is ready. Nice and light, super tasty, with a beautiful crust. And if you would like to see more videos like this, subscribe because I'm posting every Wednesday. If you got any questions or suggestions, write them down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I almost forgot. Click the link at the end of this video, see how to make French toast using this bread.